To be an effective leader or a salesperson, you have to have a few key strategies, right? And they might not be what you're thinking the first things are, but you're in luck today because today I have a few experts here to give you sage advice on how to activate your leadership and sales success. And I can't wait to have them share their wisdom with you. So let's go say hi. Hi, Annette.
Hi, thanks, Laura. Hi, I'm Annette Bacon. I am from Perth, Australia. I am a business and leadership coach, and you can find me at transformingmindscoaching.com.au.
Glad to have you, Annette. And hi, Zena.
Hey, hi, Laura. I'm Zeenath Kuraisha, a sales educator and advisor based out of Singapore, and you can find me in apacsma.com, spelled as APACSMA.com. Thank you.
Great to have you, Zena. Thanks. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Laura. I'm Sonia Jante. I'm in Southern California. I'm the Leadership Suite Whisperer, and you can find me at CIMAED, CIMAED.com.
Well, as you can already tell, we have some experts here on sales and leadership. So I want to know from each of you, Annette and Zena and Sonia, what advice do you have, Annette, for our viewers on how to really soar in leadership?
Thanks for the question. I think it's an important question. For me, I think over time, I have come to learn that emotional intelligence is critical in leadership. And it's something that I have spent a lot of time working on and working with businesses and leaders for many years. And what I've really found is that if you don't have emotional intelligence in yourself, and if you're not aware of your own emotions, you can't really establish really good relationships with people. And there's not a space that you can't use emotional intelligence.
That's amazing. So if somebody wants to develop this emotional intelligence, what would be a first step?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So self-awareness is really the first step. It's really about being able to recognize and acknowledge and understand your emotions. I mean, most of us think that emotions are good or bad, but they're not. Emotions are actually data. They tell us what we're feeling in that moment. They're not, and we will suppress the emotions we don't like. So if we don't understand where that emotion's coming from, then we don't know how to respond instead of be reactive. So the critical first step is that self-awareness.
So of oneself. And when I think of emotional intelligence, I often think of others. Like I have to understand others. Is there another way I can do that?
Yes, absolutely. The way to do that is start to really learn the language of emotions, being able to communicate your own and modeling that to others, because then they are also then learning, okay, hold on a second, you're understanding emotions. I can understand emotions too. What does this look like? And as a leader, I find that it is my responsibility to create a healthy work environment. And I really need to be able to step up and role model that.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like it would lower stress. Are there any other benefits?
Yeah. Stress is huge. I think, we go into work environments at the moment. In Australia, the statistics are pretty high. Over 70% of work environments are currently either unhealthy or toxic. And a lot of that's got to do with the stress levels that are around at the moment. There's a lot of dysregulated people. They do not know how to self-regulate. So the benefits of that is once you know how to do that, you can manage stressful situations, you can make better decisions because you're not reacting in that moment. And so, yeah, so for me, I feel like emotional intelligence is critical in every work situation. And as a leader in business, if we don't have emotionally intelligent leadership, then that's where we're going to start having issues in our workforce, unhealthy work environments.
It sounds like it's a great strategy to improve those work environments. Thank you for that. So, Zena, I wanted to go over to you and ask you, I know you work a lot with salespeople. So what advice do you have for our viewers about helping sales, increasing sales and sales success?
Sure. So I have, as you said, I've worked with a lot of organization at leadership level as well as at management and individual level. And one of the common things that I see is that a lot of leaders struggle to bring in new talents into the workforce because not many are coming into sales as a preferred profession. And when I speak to the individuals or a sales team, most of them are usually burnout and stressed out, and they got a lot of different type of issues that they're facing in their deals and opportunities. So when I kind of put all of this together, what I see is that first thing is sales isn't just about transactions for revenue. It's about solving people's most pressing problems. To truly excel, they have to focus on the customer. I know that there's a lot of training practices that kind of teaches pressure tactics and all that kind of stuff. You don't need to get into all those if you have your focus on the customer and truly helping them solve their business problems. The deal will close by itself if you kind of focus on the customers, right? So my advice to individuals is to understand their needs and understand your buyer's needs and pain points. Ensure that they benefit from your solutions. The sales mindset must evolve. It's not solely about profit, but helping others achieve their goals through your offering. If you do this, then you don't need to go into all those other things that that burns you out and stresses you out. And if a customer doesn't have a need now, there's no need for now, maybe for future. Don't kind of push them to the world's edge, that they have to get your solution. So that's where they get frightened, right? So that's number one for individuals and sales teams. Now, for leaders, this means setting achievable goals and treating salespeople for humanity. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because I have seen a lot of organizations hit their numbers year on year, but then they kind of 2x or 4x their goals, their targets for the next year, and people are like, I just hit my number where it was so difficult to hit my current number, and then every year they keep putting increasing it so unrealistically that I cannot, and people start to turn to a lot of unethical practices. So the pressure for unrealistic goals often originates from the top, contributing to burnout and unethical practices among sales team. So ultimately driving customers away. So realistic goals and ethical processes are essential to empower sales professionals to conduct business responsibly and effectively. So that's my message.
Yes, 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 yes. Totally agree. And I think that it's so easy to get caught up in the stress of goals and also in the pressure. When you feel pressure, you pressure others. But when you just like flip the whole, it's like a pancake. You flip this on its end and said, let's be customer focused. Don't worry about anything but solving the problem that your customer has. If they don't have a problem, go to the next one, right? So and it works. It works really well. So thanks for that sage advice. So Sonia, wanted to come over to you now and ask you about what advice you have for leadership and sales success in particular.
It's interesting that Zeenath is before me, and prior to becoming a leadership's whisperer, I actually was in sales and high-tech sales. So I totally agree with her that the reason for being successful is that you focus on the customer and you solve their problems. When it comes to leadership, I decided to take a tack of understanding what made some of the leaders that I was working with so unbelievably able to handle any situation that they were faced, whether it was a buyout, whether it was, changing industries, whatever it was. And I realized that it was about the interconnected ways that they could look at problems and situations. And therefore, the more holistic that they could do it, they would be able to actually solve many problems in the process. So I wrote a book called The Integrative Leader because it actually takes a look at how are we using our whole brain when it comes to solving problems, when it comes to understanding what kind of teams you need to put together, when it comes to understanding what the marketplace needs now. And given that we have AI in the workforce now, when I wrote this, I realized that there was going to be many jobs that might go away. So what's going to be the actual differentiator for you? And that is you think with your whole brain and you use that in a way that creates a whole new dynamic for the business. You know, there was a study that I quoted when I started writing the book that had to do with the fact that less than 8% of leaders at the C-suite level actually used integrative thinking for coming up with their solutions. So to me, it's about giving you the secrets about how the interrelated nature of the decisions you're making are going to create breakthroughs for you and your business and are actually going to create a better, more healthy environment.
Can you either give me an example of what a whole brain process would look like? Because
So
I
came
think
up
we
with a
all use
model.
our brain.
I came up with a model, which is actually based on what we tend to do. So when we're solving problems, what are we doing? We're asking questions, what, where, when, how. And so like if you look at the left brain, we're looking more at, you know, what and how. What's the problem? How are we going to solve it? When we're looking at the right brain, we're looking, why are we doing this? Think of Steve Jobs being very innovative. And then who are we going to do it? Which, you know, Annette was talking about operating with emotional intelligence and working with others. When you're actually tapping all of the brain, you're answering where and you're answering when. Where gives you situational awareness and when tells you, now let's connect the dots. Let's make it happen at this particular point in time. And it saves time when you are actually doing that.
I love those questions. They really, really do make you stretch your thinking instead of just making a decision and going for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen a lot of visionary leaders just say, "Oh, we got to do that, go," and then, but they don't take into account everything, the interconnectedness of the where and the when and the why and the what and the who and the how. And now when you do, you can make the best decisions.
Exactly.
And when you put that with an intelligently, emotionally intelligent person, that's
Win-win.
cares about other people. And like Annette said, and you're doing it like Zeenath said, with ethical and realistic practices
Correct.
that are customer focused. I think we just wrote another book here today, on the best practices for leadership and sales success. So we could have renamed the show that too. So thank you for that incredible wisdom that we all have here. And then I wanted to circle back to you. And now let's get to know each other a little bit better. Tell us about who do you work with and what do you do with them?
Yeah, thanks, Laura. And I just want to say too, with Sonia, and it's about who I work with, it took me a while to really get where I wanted to have my specific niche. From my past experiences, I knew what I wanted to do in changing work culture. But it wasn't until as I was working with businesses, so I work with businesses and leaders who want to basically up level their work culture, who want to have more strategic thinking and emotional intelligence to build to have that real healthy, epic work culture that we all want to have and be able to work in. And one of the things that I learned as I was going in, I was going with a strong emotional intelligence background. And I did learn it is two things. It's thinking and emotions. And you actually need to take that approach. So my approach now is what I call the head-heart approach. It is about thinking, because that's what, every behavior and action that we have is a result of our thinking and decisions. So if we're not taking and looking at that, that's the first starting point. And then the next step is emotional intelligence. So, and coming from a heart perspective. So I work with small and medium-sized businesses in that space.
Fabulous. And what's your story? How did you get started in this?
This is a story that unfortunately is becoming more and more common. So throughout, I've worked everything from team leader in senior management levels for probably around about 20 years. And through that time, more and more, I started to literally, I was experiencing and part of really unhealthy work cultures, and sadly have been exposed and been a bullying culture, literally like 3 times the victim myself. I don't want to say victim, but literally it resulted in me having to take 4 or 5 months off work, literally from the stress that that turned.
Mm.
I thought I could change from the inside, and I worked really hard for a long time, and I would see small changes, and that was great. But really, what I learned was if I wasn't able to get the commitment from either the CEOs, senior managers, first and foremost, I couldn't change from within. It was never sustainable. So I decided that I wanted to be part of the solution, and the best way for me to do that was starting my own business and leadership coaching business, which is what I did.
Wow. Congratulations. And I'm glad you did that because now you can help more than just the one place you were at.
Yes.
Fabulous. Okay. So, Zena, tell us a little bit about you. Who do you work with and what do you do with them?
Sure. I specialize in assisting high growth startups, SMEs, and major global brands. My expertise lies in the sales consulting, advisory services, and sales education, obviously. So I enable organizations to establish role-specific customer-focused sales individuals and talents. Next is streamlining their processes to be more efficient and productive, and also their operational practices to enhance their productivity using new tools and technologies and any other efficient cadences. Yeah, that's what I am and who I work with.
That's awesome. And so, how did you get started in this?
Sure. So I was just a normal, ordinary, mother and wife, who just wanted to like bring back food to the table, So I started in a call center environment, and I was just an introvert, very introverted person. I just like go in, day out, just clock in at 9 a.m. and come out at 6 p.m. And, all I do is just focus on the customers and the solutions and just keep talking to them and helping them see the need for the solution and how it would benefit them, and I kind of did this. And eventually one day I saw that I was actually consistently being the top performer in sales for the company. And there were like QA professionals and people who were actually like quietly monitoring my calls to see what I was doing different. And I got a lot of recognitions. And that's when I realized my real skills or potential, because I didn't know that I was good in sales at all. I never see myself as a salesperson. So I wasn't selling or doing anything a salesperson would normally do, but I was actually really educating and helping my customers see the solution. So that's where I gained more confidence. And then, and because of this, what happened was it was a call center boom at 1996 or 1998, that period. So a lot of companies were struggling to put in their own call, inbound and outbound call structures. So I became a consultant. I took the leap, and I started helping companies put in, whatever that I did, like put in the structures for them, the processes, helping their team, hire their team members, train them up, and put them and make sure that they're operationally ready and functioning successfully before I hand them over to the team. So that's how I got into consulting practices. And I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've set up various companies to help companies and individuals be successful in sales. And I've worked with a lot of different brands, and I've got that corporate experience with Microsoft, Oracle, SAP, and a lot of like major brands. So I learned a lot, and that's how I ended up with my own company. And yeah, which is apexsma.com. And in here, I have helped a lot of companies come to me and say, hey, I need you to like fix this issue with my salespeople or sales team. But when I go in, I don't go with that approach. I actually usually take a look at all the full sales ecosystem, and I kind of do an audit to see what exactly is happening within the whole sales ecosystem. It could be the product, it could be the target audience, it could be the processes or the technology that's pulling out, or it could be anything else. So I usually look at everything. I look at the audits before I kind of come out with the exact fix for their issues, and then gradually improve their numbers within a couple of quarters, and they're going from deep red to green again.
That's fabulous that you do that with the organizations. And I'm really glad you're behind a lot of these organizations. Thank you for from a customer standpoint, right? And I wanted to go over to you, Sonia. I would love to learn, who do you work with and what do you do for them?
Thank you. I work with owners and senior executive leaders in Fortune 1000 companies manage themselves and their teams better. It actually started primarily with me working with what was considered to be, if you will, fix-it situations. They had leaders that were there, but they might have some toxic behaviors, as Annette has referred to, or they were not necessarily, they were derailing. They'd been doing their business well, and then suddenly something happened. And then as I started doing it, I thought, it's better if we do it with people that are high potentials so that they can really get their return back. And so I would say that the bulk of the leaders that I worked with over the last 20 years have been the people that are on their way up. They really have a lot to contribute. And in many ways, they're looking at what's next and how do I make breakthroughs for the business and for the organization. So, and that's what I do.
I love
And
that
I
you're
love doing it.
Yeah, here's to more breakthroughs for leaders. You know, the three of you really are extraordinary women who are setting new groundwork for corporations and individual leaders and salespeople to be more service oriented, to be more productive, to be more effective. So kudos to all of you. And this is what I love about Women Speakers Association. We have these extraordinary women to tap into. So I encourage those of you watching today's show to connect with our leaders here today. Should one of them have something you need desperately, or not desperately, but to really take your success in sales and leadership success to the next level. So I wanted to hear from each of you, what is the value of Women Speakers Association to you? Annette, would you like to share?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have joined not so long ago, only probably about 5 months ago. And honestly, it's been amazing. I came across Women's Speaker Association when I was looking for somewhere that I could, just connect with like-minded women. There are so many amazing women. And since I've been in the network, honestly, and I guess what I love is the diversity as well. There's just such diversity. Everyone brings such amazing skills and presence. So I love that. And it's been amazing for, developing my business and my speaking skills and getting this kind of opportunity where I can, our voice matters. We have a message and my voice matters. And I have a message, and absolutely, I'm building those skills and I'm connecting globally. So, yeah, I've loved it and I'm not going anywhere soon.
And we love you. And thank you so much for being you. And Zena, what do you value about Women Speakers Association?
Sure. I'm new to WSA, but not so new. I've been like following them for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've been super busy to do anything about it. And now this year I spoke to Gail, and now I'm back in WSA. And the main two things is again, I'm starting to see a lot of amazing women, just as what Annette said, right? Like I'm meeting a lot of amazing people, and it's more for authorship. I would like to write books. I want someone to help me with that, and also like improve my speaking skills. And I think there's a lot of great tips coming out and guidance coming out from WSA. So yeah, so I'm going to be active from now on, and then that's the kind of value that I'm looking at. Yeah, like-minded professionals within WSA.
We love that you're going to be active and that you contribute your heart to us. And this really is a sisterhood. We do have all those resources you talked about. And I believe you're going to be in the upcoming Voices of the 21st Century. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
Right.
we're going to showcase you there too. That's our annual collaborative book, and it will be released in February of 2025. So the journey has begun. And Sonia, tell us a little bit about what you value about Women Speakers Association.
Well, to echo what Annette and Zeenath have said, it's just such a pleasure to be around other women that also feel comfortable sharing their experiences in how they arrived at becoming better speakers, having more opportunities for engaging with others, being able to come up with their right voice and their right message. I think it's a phenomenal organization, and it gives us a lot of credibility, being able to put WSA on your website that says, hey, I really do belong to an organization, an association that is sort of validating the fact that I'm coming prepared to be an effective speaker, to be able to be somebody that contributes to your meeting or your organization.
And we give you the chance to prove it right here on this show. So thanks for bringing that up. That's perfect, Sonia. And thank you, all of you, Sonia, Zeenath, and Annette, for being here and creating another fabulous show of Women Speakers Association's premier women's show. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host and producer. I'm honored to be here with Women Speakers Association, and we'll be back next time. By the way, if you want to join us at Women Speakers Association, do what Sonia and Zeenath and Annette have done. You can go to joinwsa.com. But if you want to just put your toe in the water, we understand you're may not ready. You want to get to know us. Put yourself on our mailing list and download our speaker success training. Where can you do that? Speakersuccesstraining.com, of course. Again, that's speakersuccesstraining.com. So thank you, Annette, Zeenath, and Sonia. You are amazing. I look forward to seeing you inside our community. And for those of you watching, please join us. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.